Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Acres of Angels would like to thank you all for coming out today to this is our second candidate forum. We are today in Sunnyside, which Reverend Holiday, this is where his church in his area of town, so we're trying to take this candidate forum not only to just one area of town, but we want to be able to touch people all over the city. So this is our second one. I want to thank Miss Vonda Washington, who's going to be the moderator today, and Barbara Gardner. She's over there. She and I have actually been working together on putting and getting this together. And my Acres of Angels are not here, so I don't know what happened, but some of them, I know they had some things going on today, so I'll excuse them for today, but we just want to welcome you. I know today is Saturday, and sometimes you know how people have things to do on Saturday and be very busy. I was just talking to Miss Williams, I think it is Miss Williams, is that right? That's okay? Miss Williams, and what she was telling me, and I want you guys to know this, so maybe even during the week sometime, if y'all have spare time to come by, they have a senior program here. And you do know our seniors are our voters, but they don't get out on Saturdays. So, we talked about it once before, trying to do something during the week, because I know they don't get out on weekends. So if you guys are in the area, we also have one actually in Acres Homes as well. If y'all are in the area and, can just call and talk to the coordinator and find out if it's okay for you just to come through and be able to talk to the seniors, because they have a very large senior base in most of your multi-purpose centers. So I would definitely suggest that you guys come out and meet them. Every vote counts. One vote can win an election. So it's very important that we talk to as many people and touch as many hands as we can. That's how we win an election. So I just want to thank all of you today for being here.
Thank you for being here today. I'm Barbara Gardner, running for the 234th Civil District Court. I have 3 points. First, I want to pass on, my qualifications. I grew up in East Texas in a working class family. Neither of my parents finished high school, but they taught us good values. Work hard, study, make something of yourself. And I graduated #1 in my law school. It works. It pays off. I'm board certified in employment law, labor, and I'm qualified for the position. I've handled over hundreds of cases all the way up to the U.S. Supreme Court. I like being a judge. I'm planning to be a judge, and I'm planning to get your vote. But second, I want to talk about what's going on. The judges are not following the law. I've read cases for 33 years. They used to follow the law, but now what they do is they decide the decision that they want, the result. They shoehorn the law to kind of fit it. If it doesn't fit, they'll embellish. Then the facts that don't fit, they throw them out and call them irrelevant to get the result they want. That's backwards. They need to follow the law, which dictates, applied with these facts, to the correct and fair result. The third reason, though, is money and appointments. Too much money is being pumped into judicial systems, and these judges are forgetting they're public servants. They're not kings and queens. They are put there by lots of money. But you know what? Just like everybody here has said, and I read this in some newspaper, I love this quote, there is more power in the voting booth than any money in the world. So what we're here for today is to ask you to be ambassadors. You go get at least 10 people that you know well, and you call them, and you offer to pick them up and take them to go vote. We need votes. If you get the vote out, we will win. Thank you. Barbara Gardner, here in the 34th Civil Court. Thank you.
My name is Ramona Franklin, and I am running for County Court, Criminal Court in Law number 5. My experience is a little unique from some of my other candidates, my colleagues. I was an assistant district attorney in Harris County, and I was proud about that. Unlike the woman who I will be running against, she, like they said, came straight from the DA's office. I think it is critical to have judges that are on the bench that have been able to experience both sides. It's very important that I was an assistant district attorney because I know what the DA's office entails. I've seen the cases that they've done. I know how they treat people, and which is one of the main reasons why I'm running, which I believe that a judge should have the same motto as blindfold justice, one case at a time. What does it mean to have blindfold justice? That means that when a person comes to court, that they should feel they're going to have the same opportunity as someone who has a high-priced attorney versus one who has a court-appointed attorney. It should not be a difference. It should not be based upon what you look like, how much money you have, who you love. It should be based upon justice in the case that you're dealing with at that time. One other position that we really need to be talking about, that we need to be mindful about, is the actual district attorney herself, who we have, Kim Ogg, who is running on the Democratic ticket. Thank you. That is a very, very critical position along with our positions as well, because that person is going to be the one that's going to make the streamline in terms of who that office is going to be charging, okay? We see a lot of cases that are charged that may not necessarily should be charged, okay? But it all goes to the district attorney that we have in place. So please, it's very critical that we vote. It's so important that we vote. I'm saying 10, I'm up in the ante. We need 10. Go out and get 10 of your friends and convince them to vote. Again, my name is Ramona Franklin. I'm running for Harris County Criminal Court at Law, and I would love to have your vote. I'm expecting your vote. Thank you so much.
I am Latasha Lewis. I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. I grew up in Houston. I grew up in Acres Home. Early part of my life, I'm from Northwest Houston. My mom was a single mom out at Compact, and so I graduated from Houston. I currently live in Third Ward, Texas. I'll follow that. But the court I'm running for is the 295th Civil District Court, which is one of the courts that was explained earlier. I have been practicing law for 13 years. But what is really, really important to me, and I hope to bring to the civil district court system, is access to the legal system for the poor. I have been an advocate of pro bono services. I've dedicated as much of my practice as I could to providing legal services in consumer cases, in landlord-tenant cases, in foreclosure cases, and of course the family cases as well. And I think that that I, on the side of being a judge, can bring forth an initiative that I worked on as a young lawyer, where I worked on a Civil Gideon initiative where we were trying to provide more information, more education, more access to free attorneys to individuals that found themselves in the district courts without an attorney. At the point to where you couldn't afford to hire an attorney, but you find yourself at trial, I'd like to bring to the courts the ability for you to have an attorney to assist you through that process. I am an ex-athlete as well, and so my motto is that in all the races that I've won in life, I want to win this race for justice, and obviously I will bring a fair and impartial person to the court, but I think this race is really for you and really about bringing justice to the court. Thank you so much. I'm Latasha Lewis. It's the 295th Civil District Court.
My name is Scott Dollinger. My friends call me Dolly. That's what happens when you grow up with a last name called Dollinger. And I'm running for court number 2. When this is done, everyone's speaking because I don't want to distract anybody while somebody's talking. I'm just going to let you have one of my push cards. It's got a lot of information about me. I want to say a few things that's not on the card, okay? And I appreciate Reverend Holliday being here today because I bring my faith to the table. I do. And the difference between, I believe, Democrats that bring faith to their table and Republicans is that Democrats want to use their faith to help people. It's that simple. And I keep telling some of my Republican friends who also bring their faith to the table that you are using your faith to hurt people. You need to stop that. You need to stop that. So court number 2, it's one of the 4 civil courts. It's a countywide seat. All these offices, all these people here are countywide seats. So if you're in Harris County, you can vote for all of us. We would appreciate your votes. I believe in fair access to a fair forum. We are in the time where we have to take that final step to equality, where we're treating everybody the same, regardless of your gender, regardless of your sexuality, regardless of your economics, regardless of your race. We have to treat everybody equally. And that's how Harris County can be a better place, and that's what I'm dedicated to. Thank you very much. My name is Scott Dollinger, Dolly for Judge. And
My name is Gloria Conti-Minute. I'm a sixth-generation Texan. I have lived in Houston for many, many years. I'm not going to tell you how old I am. I've just been here a long time, graduated from Reagan High School, worked for the city of Houston, attended college at night and law school at night. And I have always been very much interested in equal access to city services, government services, and now as I look, after having been an attorney for the last, it will be 24 years this summer, in a civil litigation, I've decided that it is time to provide impartiality, fairness to the judiciary. What we now have are judges who are incompetent, inaccessible. When I say inaccessible, they don't even show up for court on time. Many of us, in fact all of us, if we're attorneys or whether we're driving a bus or a waitress, we're all working and our time is valuable. And for people who are receiving hourly wages and have to go be at court at 8 o'clock, 8:30, then the judge comes in an hour late, that is salary that people don't receive. Or an attorney who is having to leave clients waiting at his office because the judge is not there. Last summer, before I decided to run, I was at a luncheon and the attorneys were sitting around talking about the worst judges they'd appeared before lately. So we're all talking really about Republican judges. And somebody piped up and said, well, attorneys, if you don't run for judge, then you deserve what you get. Because the average citizen doesn't know. They go hire an attorney and they expect the judges to be fair and impartial. The judges aren't. And I had a case before my opponent. And when my law partner and I had to take this case up on appeal just to get the judge to follow the law, I decided it is time that I give back to the community. I am going to do something about it. At least I will inform the citizenry. Judges are not always fair and impartial. We need to make sure that the judges we get do not act in their own, their own whim, their own party likes, dislikes. It has nothing to do what we think of according to our faith, our economic situation. That is not what we're there for. We are there to be fair and impartial. And after suffering so much at the hands of that judge, I thought, this is not right. I am going to run, and I at least will inform people. You have got to pay attention to whom you vote for.
I do what the principal said. The point I want to make is I'm board certified in personal injury and civil trial. I have represented regular people in the civil courts of Harris County for 30 years, and I've taught at the U of H trial advocacy for 23 years, and I'm the best candidate for the 270th. Please vote.
What I want you to do is look at this group of people up here and then ask yourself, will you see a similar group of Republicans? I think the short answer is no. Rainy Saturday morning, we want to be here to talk to you about your vote. So we're here. We also want to be here to help the community, so we're going to answer your legal questions in a few minutes. You won't see the Republicans doing this for you. If you're not giving them money, they're not going to line up like this. Nobody's offered us a penny to be here. What we want is for you to turn out and vote. And I would like to be like an old Breck commercial that says, not just her 6 and not just his 10, but you tell 10 friends, and they'll tell 10 friends, and they'll tell 10 friends, and next thing you know, we've won the election. And that's how it's done. Community, direct person-to-person activity is how Democrats win elections. Not big money, big voter turnout. I'd like to tell you that as far as my history, born and raised here in Houston, Texas, worked my way through school. I have been practicing law for 32 years. I've tried more jury trials than almost anyone you've ever met, and I've tried almost any subject you can imagine, which is good because in a court you hear a lot of diversity of issues. I have represented both plaintiffs and defendants. I have represented people in everything from car wreck cases to medical malpractice, from contract breaches to commercial torts, from slander to civil rights violations. I have tried those cases. I've been in the courtroom. I know what it's supposed to look like. I know what a fair trial looks like. And it doesn't have a judge that's got too much ego and not enough interest in the people. I hope you will give me a chance to be your judge of the 157th Civil District Court, and my name is Jim Peacock. Thank you.
From the tallest to one of the shortest. I am Judge Stephen Kirkland. I have served you all as a judge for 12 years. We've all talked about pretty much three sort of basic themes here. Fairness, we all want fairness for everyone. Efficiency, we want the court's business to get done quickly so you all can get in and out of those courts quickly. And accessibility, we want the courts to be available to you when you need them. I have 12 years of experience of delivering just that. So I am the one that's bringing you that experience. I am your candidate for the 113th Judicial District Court, and I just finished a primary, and so those of you that voted for me, I say thank you.
You're welcome.
And I am Judge Stephen Kirkland, and I know it's running late today. I mean, you probably heard more from me and about me than any of these other folks because of the nature of that primary. So I'm going to sit down and be quiet, and I look forward to your questions. Thank you.
It's very nice to be here to see you all this morning. I'm a candidate for the Family Violence Court, which is the 280th District Court. It's a dedicated bench. It's only been around for about 4 years. I'm running for that court because I have extensive background in working with victims of domestic violence. I've also taught in the area of domestic violence. I've worked with victims on the advocacy level, but also represented them in court. It's a very important bench because there's a direct connection between a protective order and whether or not somebody gets child custody or whether or not somebody gets certain kinds of visitation rights. It's also a very important bench because people's lives are at stake, and we need to do a better job of protecting our family members, our daughters, our nieces, our sisters, our granddaughters, because right now that particular court, the judge that's sitting on that bench doesn't really believe that domestic violence exists, and she's putting our people's lives, putting our family members at stake and our friends at stake, and so we need to do a better job. I'm the best person for that bench, and I hope you will go down the ballot or hit the D lever. If you have Republican friends, please encourage them to go all the way down the ballot and vote for me, and as well as my fellow candidates. Thank you.
My name is Sandra Peak. I'm running for the 246th Family District Court, which focuses on divorce, child custody, adoptions, name changes, child support, enforcement, modification, and matters like that. I'm running for this bench because I've been practicing for 30 years and I've been before these specific courts. I'm familiar with all the procedures that are needed, and I'm also thinking that at this time, since there's so many people that are self-represented, that a little more needs to be done towards accommodating working families, flexibility in scheduling, and more importantly, making sure that court starts on time. I think it's a waste of the litigants' time. I think it's a waste of the attorney's time. I think it is disrespectful to call docket, have everyone down there, and then start docket 30 minutes to 45 minutes later, and there's no emergency involved. I would like you to make sure that you are aware of who is running for what bench and make sure that you vote in the fall.
Good morning, my name's Chip Wells. I'm running for judge in the 247th Family District Court. It's another court similar to the one that Ms. Peak is running in. I think that I can say that all of these candidates that are here today are qualified. I'm running because I've been practicing law in this county for 37 years. I've had a very successful practice, and in my opinion, this is an opportunity to come back and give something back to this county that has given so much to me and to my family. My idea for my court is to have a court that is going to be compassionate and is going to be open to people, as Sandra has suggested. I think so many times that folks show up to court, many times they come without a lawyer and they are treated as though they are cattle. And frankly, when folks come to court, it's not because they can't think of something else they'd rather do. I'd like to make it a more accommodating, more equal place for people to be. I'd appreciate your vote in November. It's a long time from now. We've got a lot of things to consider. I'd like for you all to consider all of these candidates on this Democratic ballot and listen to what's happening in your community. Thank you very much.
My name is Kathy Vossler, and I am the candidate for the 309th Family Court. Like Chip and like Sandra, that's the court where the judge decides who's going to get custody, makes people pay child support, can take the kids away in CPS, like the courts that you're going to hear about today. So it's a very, very important court. It's a court where you're most likely to go to is the family courts. I am a lifelong Houstonian, first in my family, big family of 10, first in my family to go to college, only one to graduate so far. Went on and worked my way through college and through law school while I was raising my 3 children who've turned out wonderfully. And so I'm real proud of that. We are, my son's a new lawyer too, but we are, I'm very appalled at what I see going on in the family courts right now. And I want to tell you all about, very briefly, what happens in the family courts. The lawyers that are practicing there donate money to the judges to keep them in office. The judges order people like you to pay those same lawyers money. And your money keeps going in circles between the two of them. Ladies and gentlemen, that's not fair. People need to be appointed only when they need to be appointed, and they need to be appointed based on their merit, not based on their contributions to a judge. We need to do something fair, and I'm going to ask each of you, everybody that's here today, to make a list of 6 people that you think should vote and probably won't. I want you to make a list of 6 people. I want you to get those people to the polls, because the people, the way the money's running, they may be able to buy each other, but they can't buy your vote. They can't take that away from you. And that's y'all's right to vote. It's your friends' right to vote. It's your neighbors and your family members' right to vote. And you got to exercise it. Because if you don't vote, that's like voting the other way. Thank you very much. My name's Kathy Vossler.
Hi, my name is Natalia Oakes, and I'm running for a juvenile family court. This is a subset of the family court, but on the ballot, it's just listed as 314. It doesn't say anything about juvenile, but these are very important courts. Judges are very influential in these courts because they decide what services juvenile probation is going to offer these kids to rehabilitate them. And there are a lot of neighborhood groups that care about their youth. And I would like to increase male mentoring, female mentoring, counseling, and only the judges have the influence over these programs because they have the influence over probation. Also, due process is a loaded word. Due process means everyone gets their day in court and listened to. And juveniles need this too. You can't step on their rights just because they're kids. And kids are, generally, they tell the truth, and they should not be punished more severely for doing this. Also, accommodation. We actually have courts that say no children under 10 in juvenile courts. And these parents come with their kids, and it's not right to not allow children in juvenile court. They should see what's going on and to accommodate the parents. So juvenile court is so important. I work there. I've been working strictly in juvenile court for 14 years, so I've seen a lot and I have a lot of good ideas. My name is Natalia Oakes. It's Court 314 in 2014. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Holliday, and thank you, the heart and soul of the Democratic Party, Mrs. Griggs. My name is Tracy Good, and I'm also running for Harris County Juvenile Court, Harris County Court 313. That's Tracy Good. It's a juvenile court, Harris County Court 313. Everybody up here affects you. You may not think we affect you, but we touch you in some shape, form, or fashion. This is your opportunity to tell other people that we affect you. I like Ms. Vossler. I hate the money in the system. I hate it when people who come to court looking strictly for justice have to have a sense, that waft, that smell of something else going on you can't quite put your finger on. Well, in my court, there will be not a correlation, a negative correlation between me and the donations I get from attorneys in my court, because I will not accept campaign contributions from any attorney practicing in my court. So when you leave my court, wherever the chips may fall, I don't want you to think, oh, well, that's because this person gave somebody this money, or this person gave somebody this kind of money. There won't be that in my court. This is serious stuff, people. So please, just like now you know we affect you, please, it's important that you spread the word that these folks affect you. You better go vote for them.
My name is Harold Landreneau. I'm running for Harris County Criminal Court number 2. These are the mid-range courts. They deal with A and B misdemeanors primarily. Everything above a traffic ticket, but not quite below felonies. So mainly DWI cases, theft cases that are above and below a certain amount, anything above $50. These are cases, I see a lot of people when I go down there that are in trouble for bad reasons. They made bad decisions, but there's no reason why we can't help some of these people change their behavior and get back on track. Some of the specific changes I want to make in this court: number one, I want to take the bench on time. Someone else said, let's get the court started early. Why do people have to wait 30 to 45 minutes? Well, the wait's longer than that in the court I'm running for, Harris County Criminal Court number 2. But we won't talk about that. Another thing I want to do, I want to follow the law in the court. I also want to give back the discretion to the prosecutors in the court to allow them to make the decisions about what to happen with their cases. Right now, too often, in all of these county criminal courts are running for their former prosecutors on the bench, and more often than not, the prosecutor gets exactly what he or she wants. It's not important to what's fair in the situation, or let me consider the defense society. It just goes, what do you want, prosecutor? And that's what happens. So I want to change that. I think there needs to be a greater balance down there. I am also a defense attorney. I've been an attorney for 9 years. I am not a former prosecutor. Nothing against prosecutors, but you can see my pin here I wear for the Harris County Criminal Lawyers Association. If elected or when elected, I'm going to be the first, I think, defense attorney in a while to take the bench as a county criminal court judge. And so I want to do that for you. Some of the other things I want to do in there, I want to increase the efficiency of the court and do more trials. We need to be having those cases move through the court system so that people aren't dragged back to court time and time again. Because they're coming now in a space of a few months or several times before you get your case heard. I grew up in the Houston Heights. I am also the first person in my family to go to college and get a college degree and become a lawyer. I come from a working class Democrat family. My dad and my grandpa are both union plumbers. My heroes growing up were people like Barbara Jordan and Mickey Leland. And my grandma used to always talk about President Roosevelt. That was her hero. Even though it's well far removed from my generation, those are the people I grew up with hearing about. And President Kennedy. But all of us want to ask for your help this November. And if you can see what happened on Election Day here in March, everyone, some people came out and voted early. When we get to Election Day, what happens? It was a terrible day. Raining, free, it was cold, it was chilly. I was out 8, 9 polling places. I probably saw 10 voters in person. It was terrible. So we can't wait till the last day. We got to vote early. We have to get our neighbors out and get those 6 people and bring them out to vote. So again, Harold Landreneau, Harris County Criminal Court number 2. Thank you.
My name is Mac McInnes. I've been practicing law for close to 40 years. I'm board certified in criminal law. I've tried over 300 criminal cases, including 11 capital murders, lots of federal cases. I've been an instructor at South Texas College of Law for about 9 years. Everybody knows that I'm qualified to be a criminal district judge. Let me just tell you what's wrong with the judgeship down there now. And Kathy, I love that 6 degrees of separation. You turned it into 6 degrees of cooperation. Wonderful. Good job. Do you know that even with Barack Obama on the ticket, we left 1 million votes on the floor this last election? In the off year, we always leave a lot more than 1 million. Get out there, get your friends. They do count. I ran against the most popular Republican district court judge last time, and I lost by 1,966 votes. And I polled more votes than the person who won the governorship of the state of Alabama. And now, let me tell you a little bit about Harris County. The criminal district courts do matter. There was a time when you could get a fair bond and you could be sure that bad people were in jail and people who couldn't afford it were out of jail. That's gone, and it's gone because of those judges we have sitting there now. And the judge I'm running against, she's the one that 3 years ago, when a black lady from Acres Home, who was a member of Lakewood Church, stood up in court and said, "Thank you, Jesus," when her husband was found not guilty, she put her in jail for 3 days and said that's a demonstration. And you know her, and most black people know her as a "Thank you, Jesus" judge. I'm sensitive to the black community. I'm sensitive to all communities. I've always believed in civil rights. Grew up in Alabama. My first year in Houston, guess where I lived? The 5th Ward Bottoms. I was a Vista volunteer, Houston, Texas. And I care about what's happening in our courts. Get out there and get those 6 people. If you want to know my qualifications, Google my name, Mac McInnes or Garland McInnes, which is my given name. Everybody calls me Mac. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Jules Johnson. I'm running for the 262nd Criminal District Court here in Harris County. Native Houstonian. I actually graduated from Ebony Worthing right down the street. Still live in 3rd Ward, Texas, as I like to call it. I've been practicing law for 10 years. Did some time in the Missouri County District Attorney's Office, and now I'm in the Harris County Public Defender's Office. I got a call from Senator Rodney Ellis and told me that I needed to, when the Public Defender's Office opened up, said, "You need to be down here. You need to be down here helping people out. Shut down your practice and go." Anybody who knows Rodney knows that he is a very difficult person to say no to, and if you try to say no to him, eventually he will get his way one way or the other. But I'm down here in the Public Defender's Office now helping indigent people, and that is a very important thing to do. But more importantly, when you're down there, this is what you see in the district courts in Harris County, which is primarily where I practice, and most of the criminal courts in Harris County. As Mr. Landreneau and Mr. McInnes has said, the benches in the criminal building are pipelines from the DA's office. It's like that's their next step. It's their next promotion is to a bench. Well, the problem with that is the main purpose of a judge is to be a fair and impartial arbiter of the law. There is no way that on December 31st, you're throwing people in jail, and then on January 2nd, you can be fair, you can be impartial, you can see the other side of the equation, unless you've been on the other side of the equation, okay? Unless you know what the people are going through, unless you see what's going on with these families, because when there's a crime committed, there are more victims than just the person that the crime was perpetrated against. Okay, the defendant is somebody's brother, son, father. He's got responsibilities that he has to take care of. The victim also has their responsibilities. They have things that they had to take care of. All these things need to be taken into the equation, because what happens, especially in the district courts, when you get convicted of a felony offense, you lose constitutional rights. You lose the right to vote. And what's happening more often than not is they're taking young, primarily minority, but more specifically is low income. And they're taking low income people and they're immediately strapping them with felony convictions. Immediately. So now you've taken low income people out of your voting pool. Right from the beginning. You're 18, you do something stupid, I'm not gonna give you a chance. I'm gonna go in under a provision, 1244A, I'm gonna strap you with the felony conviction, but let you out of jail in 30 days. Hey, I'm out of jail. But you don't think about the fact that now for the rest of your, at least for 7 years, but now you can't vote. Now you can't get a job. Now you can't support your family. That needs to change. I'm not saying that everybody who goes down there and commits a crime shouldn't be convicted, okay? That's not it at all. But when you're a judge and you have that type of power, you have to look at both sides of the equation. Can this person be rehabilitated? Can this person be fixed? Does this person stand a chance? Or is this going to be somebody who gets drunk, kills 4 people, and then we say, oh, they have affluenza, and then give them probation? We can't do that. Okay, it needs to be fair, it needs to be impartial, and that's what I hope to bring to the bench. And that's what I know that each one of these, I'm not going to count them, but I know each one of these people in here can do the same thing. We're trying to bring a fair and impartial judiciary to Harris County, which is what we so desperately need.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Raul Rodriguez. I'm running for County Criminal Court number 15. I want to echo a little bit about what my colleagues said about this particular court. This particular court handles low-level types of misdemeanors, Class B, Class A misdemeanors, things that we as a community, people that we are involved with, our families, can commit these types of crimes. So these are kind of low level, but there are some serious. And one of the things that I want to echo is that what Mr. Barnstone said is there's an alternative other than jail. A lot of times these individuals need maybe rehabilitation, or we need to take, listen to each individual case and find out what really needs to be done in terms to resolve whatever issues they may have. The other thing that I want to talk about in particular, the county criminal court benches, there's 15 county criminal court benches in Harris County. Out of the 15 county criminal benches, only one of that bench is a minority, African American. In this county, there's 66% are minority in this county. And out of those 15 benches, only one, okay? That does not represent our community at all. So part of the reason that I'm running, Jules, Mr. Barnstone, we want diversity. We want to bring diversity to our benches, okay? Not only as Democrats, but as people. So this is one of the reasons that I ran. I've been practicing law for 22 years. I've been handling and representing individuals that have been charged with crimes in this particular type of court. So I'm very familiar with all the processing, the judges, the prosecutors that are involved in these courts. So I look forward to your support. My name is Raul Rodriguez. I'm running for County Criminal Court at Law number 15. Thank you.
My name is George Barnstone. I'm a lifelong Democrat, native Houstonian. Some of y'all may remember my mother from the Civil Rights days, Gertrude Barnstone, when she was on the Houston School Board. I'm running for the same level of court as my good friend Harold here because, if you go downtown and you see all these homeless people, they're almost all mentally ill. Well, they're arrested for minor vagrancy charges, maybe sleeping on the sidewalk, urinating on the wall, stealing some candy, or small things. These aren't serious criminals. These are mentally ill people. They're brought before this court, level of court. And as Jules and Harold mentioned, the attorneys at this, they're baby lawyers at this level, and the way they advance to become more senior attorneys in higher courts is they have to get convictions. Let me ask you, who could possibly be easier to convict than maybe an indigent, mentally ill, homeless person? So our Harris County Jail is the largest mental health facility in the state of Texas. We're larger than the next 10 largest facilities combined. If you excuse the expression, that's crazy. It costs us, taxpayers, a quarter as much to treat the mentally ill outside of the Harris County Jail than inside the Harris County Jail. We need to be smart about this and sentence these people to treatment, not to jail time. My name is George Barnstone, and I would greatly appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Judith Snively, and I am not running for judge. But that being said, I did that 4 years ago, and I'm back again because I believe in all of these people here. I'm running for Harris County District Clerk. What the clerk does is take care of all these records. All of these courts, most of these courts, all the district courts and 15 criminal county courts, somebody has to keep those records when people go to court. The judge orders something that needs to get written down and it needs to get put in a safe place. That's what I'm running to do. I have been an attorney for 26 years and I have been a practicing attorney. I have used the district clerk system. I know what it's about. I want to say this also. Most of you out there probably know you can go on the district clerk's webpage and look things up, right? You know how you can get in there and look up people's divorces. You can get in there and look up their criminal records. You're all here because you're savvy to that. There are a lot of people out there that don't know that. And I think the education needs to get out there that we have ways to look things up. In this day and age, that's very important. Also, the district clerk takes care of the jury panels. Another very, very important function. And if any of you have been on a jury, you know how important that is. But anyway, I know it's getting late. I just want to say that I ran again because I am so excited about the group of people we have running in all these benches. So again, if you just get everybody out and vote, these people will be sitting on those benches. Judith Snively, Harris County District Clerk. Thank you.
But I guarantee you, these individuals are going to be sitting a lot closer to your front door than any of those people at the top of the ballot is. So you need to get to know these people. You need to talk to your neighbors about the importance that these people are going to have on your lives when they're elected. Thank you very much. Vote straight D.
On the second Judicial Forum, I thank my cousin Edna Griggs for working. I thank Your Honor Barbara Gardner for working with me concerning this. This was an attempt to let the voice of the Sunnyside residents be heard. We are suffering in our community, and we who have a heart for humanity would like to see the level of spirit and pride come back to the community once again. I have taken every effort that I could possibly take to get the people here. But God has here who he needs to be here. And for us who are here, we ask that you would take it back to your homes, to your schools, to your churches, and pass the word on the effect, the influential effect that we're trying to make here in our